Shout out.
Holy talented. That is one heck of an intro. I've never had an intro in my life, and I get it. I get what it's all about. And I have asked Casper to help me with that because that is something I'm going to need on my channel. Let me try to copy Tommy. Hey, everybody, I'm Relatable Reese, and you are on the lifeboat. Could you tell us apart? Welcome, everybody. Christy Hughes, good to see you, girl. There's a couple people over here that I'm going to not know, probably, although all the names look familiar. Hello, Meredith Lynn, Renee B, Helena's here. Mods, thank you for being here. Different mods over here. A little bit different. We share a lot of the same mods. They're amazing people either way. Hey, Brock, Nicole, welcome. Kristen, Melinda, Tony's Hooters here. Electric Boogaloo. Sherry Taylor, SMG Infinity, thank you. Hey again, Sandy Sue, Allison Metcalf Palumbo, Patty Hartman's here, Cooter by the Lake. You know, it's funny, he calls you Cooter by the Lake. I sometimes want to call Tony's Hooter Tony's Cooter because of that. Selena, welcome. Giovanni, that's my grandfather's name. Thank you, Angie Moe. Let's see, Ghost Rider. Tommy, is that a wig? Don't, because you know what? I am super turned on by Tommy's nose and his beady little hawk eyes. We don't look the same, that's for sure. We can get down though. I'll tell you that right now. I think you guys know it. Brittany, welcome. Anna Marie is here. I love you. James Collins cares. Buffy came over. Dang girl. Hey, Lori E. Adventures with Beth and Carnosol cutesy. Back at it. First live lifeboat cutesy. I love that. Welcome. Marie Marion, just saw you. Hey, Billy Jones, allegedly. How's that? We'll try to throw that. We'll try to throw one of those in if you remind me. Thank you, Anne. Thank you. I changed it up. I just came over from my stream, and Patty said, hey, Bobby Jeans, change one thing. So I added a pin to my hat, hoping someone would notice. Muffet Lou, hey, Bailey. That's okay. Good night, Bailey. Just Joan. Okay. Just Joan, it won't be anything that would be an issue. Mine was personally drawn up by one of my mods. So it's not like I stole it from someone. She drew it for me. But thank you for looking out. Hey, Katie did. Jamie Palmer. Debbie Bam, welcome back. Kathy Wright. Dee Dee Razzle Dazzle. Anita Card. I love that too. Hey, Cricket. Pennies for the Mod Squad. Christy Hughes. That is very kind of you. Thank you, girl. Tommy's looking hot tonight. Lisa Kelson, you knew it, girl. You knew it well. I knew it. I mean, it's pretty much walking smecks. Isn't that what he calls it? Demasio, Barbara Aldrich. Guys, I can copy Tommy pretty well. I can do it. Makeup looks great, Tommy. Thank you, Giovanni. Debbie Zito. And noticed right away. Hey, Roberta. Thank you again for the tea. Hey, Danette McClure. Holly Day is back. Allegedly. That is kind of catchy. I kind of get it. Is Tommy in pain? Matthew says. Tommy is in pain. Annika's mom, Boho Hobo. Wow, Christy, that's amazing. Tommy, hey, Cliff Ann Ferguson, Mommy of Dragons. Ghost Rider, Lynn Sanity. Good to see you, girl. Let me just catch up here. I don't like to get behind. I don't want to be like one of the Scovilles, you know, the brother-in-law. Man, he's classic at doing that. I love Johnny, but that man gets behind in a chat like I've never seen. Turd Ferguson, I'm glad to see you. Tommy is in hiding. He better be in bed. Let's just put it that way. Blessed beyond measures. Thank you for asking. He's doing great. Hey, Kim is blue. DNV. Tommy, did you grow shorter? He is quite a bit taller. Thank you, Sharona. Billy Jeans, Band-Aids for Tommy. He's going to need more than that, but thank you, girl. Thank you. Oh, did you want to appear on the lifeboat? She says, I've never been on the lifeboat. I'd really like to give it a try because I'm the star of every show. You guys, it's my world. You're just in it. Of course you are, girl. Of course you are. And it wouldn't be proper. Let's see. It is going to be Valentine's Day. Do we do pink? What matches our outfit? I've got a little bit of pink in this. Oh, it's at the bottom. We've got more of a beige, a mauve, I would say. Let's see. Does that clash? Should we do the lighter pink for Valentine's? Oh, I think that's perfect, really. That's glorious, girl. That lip color would not work on Tommy. Everybody, this is Gertrude, and everybody knows her. I mean, let's be honest. She's incredibly special. She's a frosted mini wheat with eyeballs. She's a Libra, and she's getting her own Only Dogs page here real soon. What did the doctor say? Thank you, Christy Hughes. How's Tommy managing pain? So I will just tell you guys, I'm going to set you there, girl. Tommy is what I said this on my last stream. Tommy is going to be just fine, everybody. The bad thing is this, and we all know this. He had back pain to begin with. So falling off the ladder was not exactly gonna help that, right? He did go today. I wish that, hey, love Mama Bear. Hey, be courteous. I wish I had been there with him because we would have gone right away. But we let Tommy do what Tommy's going to do. He's like that anyway. But he has soft tissue damage and a sprained ankle. So it could be much worse. It could be a lot worse. I'm having him, and his family is also taking care of him there, but I'm having him lay down. I love you too, honey bun. And again, you better be in bed, like the text I just sent you before this started. He just needs to take it easy. That's all he needs to do. The second he fell off that ladder, I said to Tommy Scoville, hey, KP in Arizona, I do this a lot on my channel. I don't push myself. Tommy is a workhorse. He would have made a great Scientologist. Honestly, babe, if you ever want to make a career change, the Sea Org would love to have you. I'm going to be honest, because the guy doesn't take a day off. That's actually not a bad way to go. The bottom line is this: Tommy has to rest. And that's why I'm here. That's why Casper fills in. That's why Johnny's helping Spanx. We're banding together as a family. That's what we do. But it's hard to get Tommy to slow down. He's a workhorse of a man, and he's incredible. And he's here for everybody. He's always putting other people first. He wants to come on. He wants to see you guys. I get it. I'm also a YouTuber, and my favorite thing to do is see you guys, talk to you guys. But I explained it to him like this: the more you push yourself, the slower your healing process will be. So it's, we all know that. Weigh it out. If you want to push yourself, you're going to be in more pain. You'll pay for it later. So hopefully he continues to listen. And hopefully he just takes it easy, listens to the doctors, listens to his lady friend. And that's really the only update I have on Tommy. I will continue to update you guys as I know more. But for now, he just, I didn't think he broke anything, to be honest. My intuition on it was that he didn't break anything. Tommy is very self-aware with his body because he was a skier for his entire upbringing, right? So he knows he's fallen. He's got brain damage from it. He knows himself very well. I trust him that he will do the right thing. I didn't think he broke anything though, and he didn't either. But he does have damage. And this is again, I said this earlier. This is why men live a little bit less time than us gals, because I don't know who gets on a ladder in the dark in the wind other than the Scoville boys and other boys. Anything else with twig and berries, that's going to happen. Well, look who it is, Spanky. I love you. Speaking of boys, Spanx, we have to keep your dad in bed. Please help me. Please help me. Please help me with that. Help me help you. So tonight, I'm going to be doing a boat. It is hard on the body, and men don't listen very well. It depends on the man. It's case by case, but Tommy's a very strong, you know, would the word be, would it be appropriate to say strong-headed, strong-minded? He's kind of reminds me of my husband who passed away. Just very, big cojones. Um, Getting older ain't for sissies. That's right, Anita Card. Absolutely. So oh, hey, Casper. By the way, guys, Casper, if you caught last night, he's amazing. He came over and did the boat, and I joined him about an hour in, and we had the best talk. We had such a great conversation. I saw your guys' comments. The feedback was fantastic. I really wanted to meet Casper and actually chat with him other than just send a text. Great, great person. Reminds me a lot of Tommy as far as just a big heart. He's just a really good guy. I enjoyed it so much. Casper, I hope we get to do that again sometime. I really, really enjoyed chatting with you. Hey, Cindy G. Fantastic stream last night. Like, I went to bed feeling better just from that talk. I love connection, and I know that's what the boat is about. That's what my channel is about. It's a little different how we run things over there, but either way, the bottom line is it's about connection. That's what this is about. Getting to know people on a deeper level, connecting with them, making them feel safe, not judging, all of that. That's what the boat is about. Speaking of my channel, I'm so happy you came over, Joe. I knew you would. Is Rain in here? Yeah, Sandy Sue. Um, he's Tommy's first subscriber. Casper is not. No, Charlie Mullins is who you're thinking of, Christy Hughes. Thank you, Be Courteous. Sorry, my voice is a little hoarse because I just did a stream over on my channel, but we're going to push through. So, connection, absolutely, Nicole. It's all about connection. It's all about connection. Now, what I thought about, because I haven't had a lot of time, I just jumped off my channel to come onto this channel. But what I was thinking today, I thought, what do I want to talk about on the boat? Okay, Joe, good to know. What do I want to talk about on the boat? My channel, anything goes, right? We get into the weeds. I don't necessarily want to do that to you guys here. I'd like it to be a little bit more structured tonight. Hey, Mary Behrens. Hey, Joanne Ventrilla. And what's a good topic? Well, so I was thinking about this and I had very little time. I was reapplying my lipstick and feeding Gertrude. And I thought, what's a good topic? I don't ever do this because I don't do that on my channel. I just hit go and see what comes up. And typically it's a lot of things. And something that's been on my mind, what's the email for this channel? Mods, I would say it out loud, but I feel like I'll get it wrong. First live on the boat. Hey, Michelle, Erica, I love that you came over. This is so supportive, guys. There's some people coming over from my channel. I appreciate that so much. She's a good friend of mine, Erica. I think it's Tommy Scoville at Gmail. There it is. Thank you. Thank you for that, Kristen. So good topic tonight. You tell me if you're not into this. But something I really think about when I think of the boat, I get that Tommy does a lot of true crime now, and I really admire that. I mean, he's good at that. Tommy is very good. He shines, right? You're not going to see me over here doing true crime. I couldn't talk about Diddy ever. I don't watch a lot of that stuff. And when I have questions, I ask him on the side. So, well, hello, Mrs. Ivy. To you too. But something about the boat, when I think about the lifeboat, I don't think about Diddy. I think about connection, of course. But what did the lifeboat come about? How did we come about? I wasn't here when this channel started. I didn't know Tommy. But hey, Katrina. Steph, I love you, girl. Thank you. Angel says, I don't care about Diddy. Not everybody cares about Diddy. A lot of people do. But the lifeboat came about for reasons of connection that had to do a lot with, hey, Nancy Couch, sobriety. And I thought tonight we could go back to our roots here. And I thought tonight we could celebrate anybody who wants to come forward and say they're 1 day sober, they're 40 years sober, they're 15 days in. I love, love, love when I see people tell me their stories, their backgrounds of that. But more deep also of a connection is we all experience addiction. Now, not everybody, a lot of people have said, Not everybody came to this channel. Susie with an S is 11 years clean. That's incredible. Joe Virus is 8.5 years sober. That's absolutely amazing. You guys, thank you for sharing that. That lights me up, and I know it lights Tommy up. It's incredible. 12 years clean, Damasio. That's amazing. That is such a success story. Thank you for sharing that. I think that's so cool. That's what I love about the boat. I got to be honest. I don't care about Diddy either. I'm happy for Tommy. He's found a place to talk about that. Matrix Rabbit, I'm happy to see you. But I know this is where Tommy lights up the most, right here. 14 years, almost stumbled if it wasn't for Tommy. There you go. I love that. Thank you, Wine, a little bit more. 16 years without drinking, Lumen. That's amazing. Love and Life, 8.5 years. This is the connection. This is what I mean. 17 years no gambling, Shelly Kelly. 19 years clean and sober, Mary Barons. This is incredible. And this is, I think, one of the reasons. This is the core reason. This is how the boat started. We're keeping it afloat. It's amazing to me, the people that share these stories here. 1 year, no pain meds, thanks to the boat. Mrs. Ivy, we met her in person. She's a beautiful lady. That's amazing. James Collins, 20 years meth-free, 5.5, no alcohol. Guys, that's huge. That's incredible. James Collins, that's amazing. And it's amazing to share that. This is a safe space to share that. This is a space where you're welcome to share that. We want to know that if you're willing. Don't feel like you're being forced to do that, but I love it when you do share that. Yes, congrats to everyone, to all of you. You started following after you saw him on Aaron's channel. Yeah, these people are filling my heart too, Nancy Couch. Look at this. 27 years clean. KP in Arizona, that's amazing. Where is it? All right, I got to be like Tommy here. This is for all of you tonight. This is what I wanted to talk about. This is where we all truly connect, okay? This is what it's about. We all are addicts in some fashion. Some people come here and say, I've never been a drug addict or a drinker, but I come here for, my addiction to, a lot of people have food addictions. I have had some food addictions in my life, but honestly, hey, Mutteroller, I don't now for sure. And it's weird because I'm chubby, but I don't. When I get weird and anxious, I actually don't eat. But I don't have an eating problem now because of my diabetes and I have to control it. And also the drug that I take for my diabetes keeps me from overeating. But I've had food addiction. I've battled with that. Thank you, Daughter of the King. I've been addicted to men. I've coped with the acts of physical love. I'm not going to be, I won't cuss over here or be as weird over here, but I think we all know what I'm trying to say, Allison. I have been addicted to drugs. I smoked meth for 2 years, not near as long as some people, but I did that. I smoked cigarettes for about 10 years. And I have in my life, not so much now, but I've also experienced, hey, Christianese, shopping or spending habits, like being too much, going overboard, not paying attention, not budgeting. I did that more a little bit when I was younger, but I still sometimes struggle with that. And I think, yes, codependency. Oh, yeah, that's a big one, Christy Hughes, for me too. I'm in therapy trying to break away from that. Codependency is a big one, guys. Just for me, I'm addicted to, there you go. Nicole's a recovering people pleaser. We're all here for a reason. There's a connection because we all have some kind of an addiction and you may not realize it, but we do. And the codependency rings true for me as well. I find that I've got real issues with men as far as wanting to be needed, accepted, especially older masculine energy. I find I have an addiction to reaching externally. I've learned that in therapy, that I reach too much, even just to human beings, not just men, but I reach too much externally for what would be the word for that? Because there's several words. I reach too much externally for validation, of course. Um, Seeking just advice, and what I need to do, what I've learned about that is my therapist and I've talked, you've got to reach internally. Stop reaching externally. That is a bad habit and it becomes an addiction. And I know self-worth, absolutely, Debbie Zito. Reassurance, Heather, yes. Love, of course. Yeah, sweet Liberty. Feedback and advice, Original Ann. Definitely that. But yes, Lisa Kelson, validation. Lynn Arundel, approval. I think we as human beings have a bad addiction to that. And I don't want to speak for everybody because I realize not everybody does it. And it also depends on where you're at in life. You are healed at certain different parts of your life. You are unhealed. Look at Christy Anise, 30 years clean from green. Go, girl. That's amazing. This is what the lifeboat is truly about. And it's a beautiful thing. I love it over here for this. It really does lift people up over here. People talking about their habits, their addiction. Do you know how strong you have to be to come over and do that? It's because Tommy has built such a safe space here. This is a non-judgmental community where you can come and talk about that. Muffet Lou, television. It's definitely an addiction, no question. Can't spend a day away from it without getting anxious. Don't even need to be watching, just need it on. Interesting. Interesting, Muffet Lou. You make a good point. I have been with people who have to have like background noise even at night. They have to have the TV going. That's an addiction, big or small. You don't have to be addicted to H to have an addiction, right? I am now winning the battle over my agoraphobia because of Tommy, Spanks, Reese, Casper, and Russ. Wouldn't chat until these folks brought me out. Just Joan, that's incredible. I didn't even know that because I've been talking with you forever over on my channel. Just Joan, congratulations. That's huge. I have to have the TV at night. Interesting. Video games, well, screens in general, right? Look at Reese just killing it tonight. You're making me tear up. I bet Tommy is proud. Well, thank you, Lisa Kelson. I appreciate that. I want to make him proud. Danette McClure has the TV on at night. Same with Sherry Taylor. Hey, Brandon Calloway, Christy Hughes. I understand that. Some people having, there's anxiety issues. People are so complex. Oh, honey bun. I didn't even know you were in here. People are so complex. And Tommy is one of the people who I'm addicted to the sun, Anne. Tommy is one of the people who really opened my eyes to so many things, guys. You have no idea. I don't know how many of you know me. I don't know how many of you watch me. I recognize so many of you over here, but there's quite a few I don't. Autumn T, TV books or TV or audiobooks, sure. I don't know how many of you know who I am. I have a channel. It's called Relatable Reese. I was a Scientologist for 38 years, born and raised. And coming out of Scientology has been really difficult. I've been out for 2 years. And it's difficult to get to know the outside world and study you guys to a degree. People are, Reese, are you the first mate on the lifeboat, Mindy? I am Tommy's fiance. So whatever that means, I'm his lady friend. But yes, Mindy, I'm a crew member over here on the lifeboat, just like you guys. And I'm a huge supporter. And so the point is, me too, Miss Tree. There's so many new things I'm trying to catch up on in the real world to get caught up to you guys. There's so many things I don't know. Pam is a people pleaser. I totally get that. That's amazing, KP. I never like to admit I did anything, but that the first time saying it was on the lifeboat. Learn to not kick myself for past mistakes, actually give myself credit. Yes, girl. And isn't that all we can do? I'm going to go back to what I was saying, but There's something you guys all need to know, and you probably do, but there's so many things that I'm learning in the new world. And one of them is this, and it's very simple. Everybody is at a different stage or path of where they are, whether they're healed or they're newly injured or they're recovering from and I'm talking about an injury mentally, right? Trauma, however, whatever word you want to use. Don't write people off too quickly because they may be at a different point in their healing journey. You have to meet people where they're at. And I just said this on my last stream, and this is not original. I stole this from Mel Robbins. I love her. But she said something. You can make somebody breakfast. You can make somebody a cup of coffee. You can make somebody laugh. You cannot make a person change. Can't make their behavior be any different, right? And in a way, that alone is an addiction. I think humans, from what I've learned coming out of Scientology, have an addiction to trying to get you to see what they see. And to me, I am newly learning about self-worth. I'm newly learning about self-esteem. And that's another thing you cannot make somebody see. I have heard, hey, Shannon, so many times in my life, Reese, you are enough. Reese, you are beautiful. Jackie, thank you, Reese, helping your man. This is great. I'm addicted to the both of you. Jackie, thank you. That's very kind. I don't remember what I was saying. Usually somebody will tell me over on my channel anyway. Somebody will say, hey, it was this. Yeah, Incarnasoul, you can't make a person change. Absolutely. Yeah, the Mel Roberts thing, but I was like in deep into it, Anne, and you are enough. Yes. Thank you for that, cutesy. So I love telling people they're this and that. You're beautiful. You are enough. You're not who they said you are. All of those things are great. But from my experience, and this is just my experience, I stay in my own lane. I'm not speaking for other humans. It's like making a person quit drinking. It's like telling a person, it's like having an intervention. They have to want to change. People only change when they want to. They have to want to change. They have to see it. We all have experienced that. I never quit smoking because a doctor was like, this is going to kill you one day. Okay. I had to see it. And it goes that goes for any addiction. And that's where I think people go wrong, pushing and telling you, like trying to get you to see it. You have to live and let live. People are not going to change unless they feel like changing. But look at all the success stories tonight, just the whole list of people who did make that change, who felt like changing. James Collins Cares, Christy Anise, Christy Hughes. Look at all these people who saw it for themselves. And Marissa Martin, I'm not going to lie, help helps, right? The boat, a lot of people say I wouldn't have been able to do it without the boat. It's always good to have friends that guide and lift you up and help you to see the light, but you cannot make people see it, right? Yeah, all the Christies are here. And the fact of the matter is, people just don't change unless they feel like changing. But what I love, while that may sound depressing in a way, hey, Kim, look how many brave people are here that did it, that inspire others to do it. We all have an addiction. Tommy has morphed into Reese. Everybody's addicted to something. It may not be as detrimental. It may not be life-threatening to be addicted to having the TV on at night, but nevertheless, it's an addiction, right? If you say it is, I'm not going to tell you you have an addiction. I've got my own damn problems, trust me. But I think it's a beautiful thing. It's like I just said, people change if they want to change. If you even recognize that I do this a little bit too much, you're starting to see the light. And we're here to help you with that on my channel, Casper's, Spanx, Johnny, and this one especially. This channel is where it all began as far as Tommy really cares about you guys. And this channel really, really does mean something to so many. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And I hope that he continues to grow it. And I hope that I learn a thing or two. And that's what I was going to go back to. Tommy has taught me so much coming out of Scientology in such a it's very important. I think about this as a parent. Stay with me here. I know that I jump all over. I'm very different than Tommy in how I talk. Goosebump. I think about this a lot as a parent because I'll never forget. I've got a million of these, but there's one in particular I just thought of. My dad, when I was, I think, 10 or 11. I never thought I had a weight problem. I never thought that as a child. Now, I've never been a string bean. Oddly enough, I have a sister. My parents are both tall. Why I'm 5'4.5" and kind of chubby and round, I don't know. I have Chihuahua legs. My legs are underdeveloped. I always say it's because my mom smoked when she was pregnant with me. Hey, Heather Rhodes. I literally have a body, and then I have my Chihuahua that I used to have. We had the same legs. It's weird. You wouldn't even know it because I'm sitting, but I don't have legs. I don't know if you knew. So, where was I going with that? I never thought that I had a weight problem. Again, my sister's tall, lanky, long, like my parents. I'm just this like weird little shorty, strange, different, right? But I never focused on it when I was a kid. Brittany, agreed. Change is easier with a safe space like the Lifeboat. No question, girl. Thank you for being a member over here. I love you, Brittany. That's a kind thing to say. You got to remember, Reese, you've taught Tommy a lot as well. Look, he found love again. That's very kind. Fun size. Yeah, absolutely, Anne. Everybody else is like the right proportion in my family, okay? But yet still, I didn't focus on my body at that age. I've got a real body, I would say, like dysmorphia issue. Thank you, Nikki K. I think I'm really, really massively overweight. I don't like my face. I'm working on it, right? I'm in therapy. That wasn't to get anyone to say anything. I'm just telling you my outlook on myself is pretty grim. Okay. Working on that. When I was about 10, my dad, my mom left when I was 6. My sister left when I was about 7 or 8. And then I was alone. My dad was a pool hustler, and he would travel all around hustling pool and leave me alone for a week or more at a time. And hey, Sandra, it's okay. And he started dating this lady when I think I was 10. I could have been 11. I don't know. He started dating this lady, and he showed me her picture, and she lived in Kansas City, and I was in Omaha. We were in Omaha. And this was not to be disrespectful. But my words were, when he showed me the picture, I said, she looks old. I mean, that was just being a kid. I didn't mean it rude. I just said it. And my dad looked at me and he said, well, at least she's never been as fat as you are. And I shrunk to about an inch tall. And I never thought about my body that way before that moment. You have to remember that. I never thought about my body that way. He introverted the hell out of me. From that moment on, I'm 40 years old now. From that moment on, I was like, I'm fat and disgusting. I'm not kidding. Like, I asked Tommy, even to this day, I'm like, don't look at me. I'm fat. I'm fat. I'm fat. Like, I think it all the time. I'm getting better because my channel has helped me. But I think about that as a parent. And I'm really careful. I remember thinking when I was pregnant, I will never, ever, ever talk to my child that way. Children, I don't know if I have more than one at the time. I have one now, but I thought it's so easy to hurt another person. You don't know where they're at. You don't know if there's some child or if it's an adult that's unhealed. You've got to be really careful with what you say. That scarred me for life. So my point is, hey, Hux, which cat is that? Is that Moose? Can you let her in? Sorry, guys, I didn't mean to yell at you. Some of us like women on the heavy side. Words cannot be unsaid. And look, we all have some sort of a story like that, I'm sure, whether you were a child and it was your parent, or you were an adult and it was your husband or wife. People say, come on up, girl. This is Kid, by the way. We've got 3 of these, and she's lately been very clingy. She likes to just sit on me. People say things in stages of their life, and you can't take it back is the problem. And that is, thank you, Kim. It's hard to heal and recover from that stuff. And I don't know if that can lead to addiction issues later on in life, but I'm sure that it's possible, right? So, like Tommy says, a couple of things here. I'm trying to make a point. Getting closer to love is very important. He doesn't just say that, guys, to say it. It's real and it's true. Is it leading you to love? Really think about that. Before you make a comment, before you dig, before you try to get somebody to see your side of things, is it leading you closer to love? Does it really matter? Or can we just live and let live? Right? You're probably my goal weight, Kim. I weigh about 185. I would love to weigh about 150 if I could. I've never been a string bean. I've never been thin. I've always like been a little bit on the thicker side, but not how I see myself. I see myself as like massively obese, overweight. And I'm not making fun of anyone who's obese and overweight, but that's how I view myself. And I'm working on that. I see a therapist. But I have to say, be careful who you let into your life, because I was married recently. I got divorced, and this person would say to me, I mean, he would shame me for not knowing things, right? So coming out of Scientology, I don't know a lot. And I have Tommy to thank for being so open with me, teaching me things that I wouldn't have known, words that I don't know. For people who don't follow me on my channel, it's very real. I thought the Holocaust was in the 1600s. I know nothing about the world. I know nothing about history, world history, geography. Forget it. I thought Antarctica was a state. I thought Philadelphia was a state. And Tommy has made it, just like he has here, a very safe space for me to say, I don't understand that, or I don't know what that means. And I think if we all just embraced that a little bit more, it wouldn't hurt, right? Like just kind of letting people think their thoughts. The reason I bring this up, I was just talking about this on my last stream. I can't tell you, and Tommy too, we get thousands of emails, and I embrace that. I love your emails. I can't keep up at this point. But I cannot tell you how many people reach out to tell me, I just watched your last stream and I liked it except for the 10 minutes from here to here. And they'll timestamp me and say, I really didn't enjoy this. Do you mind harping on this a little more? I want you to talk more about this. If you could leave this out of it, that would be great. Please don't talk about your body as much. If you could increase your talk on Scientology, and also your eyebrows are a little bit too light, could you perhaps darken them with a pencil? Also, you're not wearing mascara, and I noticed again, your eyelashes are so light blonde, I can't see them. You wouldn't mind putting on some mascara for your next stream, would you? Are you and Tommy going to have a baby? I think you should have a baby before you get any older. I think you guys should seriously consider having a child. I'm not joking. I get those all the time. Stretch it, girl. Yoga. Damn. Reese, would you mind not being blonde? Thanks. It's true, Kim. It's very true. This is the most laid back cat you'll ever know. Did she just die? Are we breathing? Okay, we have movement. We have movement. I don't tell anybody to piss off. And here's why. People are, guys, this is, she's showing off for the boat. Do I have any tips, like a go-to saying? Christy and East, I was just going to say this. People are only healed to where they're at. So you're only, the people who send me those emails are only meeting me where they're at, if that makes sense. They're not being jerks. They're not being jerks, guys. This is not intentional when they send those emails. This is where they're at in their life. That's what matters to them. That's what's important to them. So if you look at it that way, it's hard to get mad at them. It's hard to go F off because they are not coming at me with those intentions. I don't want to criticize them. Oftentimes I write them back and I'll say, yeah, I'll definitely wear some mascara for the next stream. Or sometimes I'll say, it kind of seems like you're not a fan or a friend. Like maybe you should find another channel. Should I just go silent? We just watch the cat because it is kind of, meet people where they're at. And people are not going to be where you're at. And that's another problem is we expect people to do what we would do, right? What the hell is going on? Hey, Jason. Hey, Teresa Clay. Boy, Tommy would really enjoy this. Really doing the yoga poses. I think that it's kind of the moving closer to love and not hate thing, guys. People can only meet you where they're at. And this is something I just said on my last stream. If you really think about it, this is going to sound nuts. Renee B. It's okay, but I'm trying to soften. This is going to sound nuts, but hear me out. Everything is made up. Everything's made up. Everything is subjective. If you really break it down, there are very few absolutes. Things are very, very rarely black and white. I grew up on black and white in Scientology, and coming out of Scientology, everything everybody says is based on what? Their upbringings, right? Everything is based on your upbringing. Everything's based on your experience. Everything's based on what you know, what you would do with where you're at in your life. What if you're super unhealed and you're giving me advice? Should I take it? It's their experience, Christy Nicole. You guys, zoom out. I say this on my channel. Zoom out. Do not be so zoomed in. Zoom out and look at the big picture. People are basing everything they tell you on their own experience. Everything is subjective. This is, I say this, it's not a Maine Coon, Christy, but she is large. I say this all the time. It's like politics, and I don't talk politics. I don't know politics. But it shocks me every time. I was married to someone who was insane about politics, and he would fight people to the death. His Facebook page would have like 117 comments on a post that he would start. And I would go, why can't you just let people vote for who they want to vote for? Why can't you just let people have their own viewpoint on something, right? And he would go, I can't, because they're voting for a liar, and I have to show them the truth, and I have to post all of these truth. And I would go, this is such a waste of time. People, you're trying to meet people where you're at, and that's not where they're at. You're not where they are. People are unhealed all over planet Earth, man. And trying to get them to see your light, because that's the fact. You're not trying to get people to see the light. You're trying to get people to see the light you've seen. That in and of itself is an addiction. And if you could give people more grace and move closer to love, to me, that's the way I do it. When somebody comes to me and sends me an ugly email, I think that's where they're at. They're unhealed. They're going through stuff. But nothing is real. Everything's made up. It's all subjective, guys. It's just totally subjective. I know that sounds crazy. Sharon Page, Thank you. Come over and subscribe to my channel, girl. I hope some of you do. That are not subscribed, I hope you do. Yeah, Christy Hughes says, you definitely have a great point. You're so subjective. Time is the only thing I would hold value to. Yeah, and that's another point. Values. Think about that for a minute. What do you value? You probably have a whole list, right? What do you value? How do you expect somebody else to value what you value? So the things that I value, I put out every day on my channel. I talk about the things that are strongly important to me. I don't do small talk, clearly, right? I like to get to the thick of it. I want to get to the guts of something. I want to know you on a deep level. I want to talk about our insecurities, our fears, our vulnerabilities, what makes us laugh, how we were raised, right? Because that's how you really get to know a person. And I don't just do that on YouTube. I do that out in the world. Every time I go somewhere, I get to know. I don't care if you work in a restaurant. I don't care if it's the person checking me out at the grocery store. I get their name. I talk to them for as long. I don't care if I have 2 minutes. I'm going to make that 2 minutes that really matter. That's moving closer to love. But you also have to remember our values are not always going to be the same. So when I do a stream, and somebody decides to send me an email of, why did you do this? You talk about this too much. Nobody wants to know about your body. Nobody wants to hear about sex. Nobody wants to hear. That's just not simply what you value. And if you look at it that way, how could you really get hurt? Don't take it personally. I'm learning that so much coming out of Scientology. Everybody wants to share what's worked for them, what hasn't worked for them, how they were raised. My father told us this, and you're not living your life that way. Fair enough. I don't have to adopt and absorb everything everybody tells me. And I had a real addiction to that. I said an hour ago, I've had trouble my life playing hopscotch, jumping from one foot to the other, going, oh my God, I have to please this person, but this person doesn't like this. Oh my God, but I have to change. I have to morph and change and fit into the mold that they're asking me to. I don't. You know why? Everything's made up. Everything is subjective. God, this is heavy. I hope you're happy, kid. This is ridiculous. What are you doing? Oh, my arm. I feel like I'm holding a roast. I feel like I just got this from the butcher at the deli. Oh, God. If you really try to do a couple of things for me and zoom out. And you know what else, guys? Kristen Melinda. Not everything deserves a reaction or a response. And I realize what I'm saying right now. You all know. You guys are not smart. I don't want to say smarter than me, but you are ahead of the game because I haven't lived life out in the real world. I came from Scientology. That's all I know. I can quote LRH for you, but I can't do much else. And all I can do right now is self-reflect. Did you just super chat yourself? Nice job, babe. No one can ever call you a grifter again. He just super chatted himself, and YouTube took 30% of that, babe. I love you. All we can do is work on ourselves. Self-reflection is key. People are just doing their best, but unfortunately, their best may not be your best because they're not healed. And you have to meet people where they're at. You don't have a choice. Otherwise, what happens? We fight it. And then what? We divide. And then what? We hate. And then what? We don't understand. And there's just a big fire going on. If you just zoom out a little bit and see that people are just giving you their advice based on what they know, that's all they're doing. Those emails that Tommy and I get all day long of, you should do this more, you should do that more. I don't like this. I'm going to unsubscribe if you don't change. And that happens in the real world, just on a smaller scale. I've worked a corporate job. right? Where people on a smaller scale go, you should do this more. Oh, I wasn't raised to be like that. Oh, my father says this. Okay. We smile and we move on. Thank you, Jason. I'm not a brilliant woman. I appreciate that. All I do is adopt new things every day. I try to better myself and work on myself. I don't want to tear other people down. Tommy and I don't tear down other content creators. We don't focus on other people. I mean, I focus on me because I have so much catching up to do in the real world. It's unreal. I have so much to learn that you guys learned decades ago. And that's all I'm trying to do. And I'm trying to understand human beings because I didn't know that many human beings outside of Scientology. You guys are fascinating. And you've taught me so much. And I can show emotion now. There's so much to learn. There's so many people to learn from. I don't want to waste any time going, ew, let's judge that person because they just did something I didn't like. That's all people tend to do a lot. Unhealed, unwell people do a lot of pointing the finger. She is. She's alive. I just checked. Are you good? You just showing off tonight for your father's show? She wanted to be on the boat. She wanted to be on her dad's show. Um, I noticed that a lot too. People really, really see you, kid. Oops, sorry. People really tend to point the finger and judge. And that's so easy to do. We all do it. That's another addiction right there. It's easier, right? To turn the lens and look at others than filter through the kaleidoscope of what we are doing. Self harm. By tearing other people down, you're really tearing yourself down. All those haters that are against me and Tommy, you think they sleep well at night? No, I don't. I personally don't. I don't think they're healthy. Mentally, physically, I think they're unwell. There's only so many times you can just focus on, I'm going to just tear down this person's reputation. Good Lord, the cat hair. Thank you, Christy. I don't know about you, but I really agree with what Tommy says. Are we moving closer to love or hate? And I'm not sitting here, by the way, preaching to you guys. I'm preaching because I've this is what I've learned in the last 2 years of being out of Scientology. I'm not preaching. I'm telling you what I've learned. And I've learned a lot, and it's because of you guys. I've studied a lot of you. I've listened to a lot of what you have to say. And Tommy's a huge person that has really been a guide, and he's so open to letting me be me and not shaming me. The guy that I was married to before, I've said this. Hey, Wicked Tinkers. Me too, humble and kind. I love this channel. The man I was married to before had a few good points, like everybody. No one's all bad, right? But he would say to me all the time, I was so embarrassed because I didn't know a lot, and I was aware. I think that's one of the reasons I pick older men, because I feel safe. It's almost like a father figure. I'm like, I feel safe because you know stuff and I don't. You'll teach me. I don't feel that way anymore. I've healed from that. But he used to, I was well aware that I didn't know things about the world. And he knew that was a weakness for me. He knew that I could say, I don't know, I've never heard of that. Or wasn't the Holocaust wasn't in the 1600s. Like, just, he knew I was uneducated. And he played into that so much for terrible reasons. And he would say, you don't know that? You should know that. Everybody knows that. You might want to know that. You don't have any common sense, hun. And it really shows. You were raised in a cult, and that's not your fault, but you should know that. Do you know how day after day? I'm sure you do, because everybody's experienced abuse at some point, I'm sure. That is incredibly embarrassing and shaming, and you can't take that back. Did you want to come back already? Are you ready to come back? This is a lot. I love you, Original Anne. Thank you for being here. And Kim makes a great point. How are you supposed to know something unless you are taught it? And this is a great point too, Cutesy. I'm so huge on trying to see a different kid. I'm so huge on trying to see a different perspective on most things. You learn so much when you just try to think things through from another view. Such a good point. But you also learn things from people when you don't adopt and absorb everything everybody says. And again, back to the whole reason we're doing this tonight is about addiction. We all have addictions to some degree. It may not be substance abuse, may not even be food. My addictions are more things you can't see and feel. And I definitely had an addiction to external validation, needing to be validated, needing to be heard and seen. And it didn't get me very far because I feel like I was addicted to the wrong people. And that can happen too. You can become addicted to people who just want to hurt you. And I think if we all just, the whole moving closer to love thing, guys, if we all, you want me to hold you? Okay. If we all zoom out a little bit and just accept people for where they are. You know, I used to get so offended. I would take everything personally. Even in public, if it's some rando stranger and they're like, you know, you've had those people who flip you off in traffic, people who are just awful, right? It's so much easier to zoom out and go, first of all, they're trying to make their problem my problem. I don't have to adopt that problem at all. That's your problem. You're trying to make it my problem. I'm not going to accept that. It is freeing, Cinderella's glass slipper. But the other thing is, guys, people are only good with where they're at. And they may not, you may be healed more so. And up here, that doesn't mean everybody's going to meet you where you're at. You have to meet them where they're at. And that's a huge lesson. That's a huge lesson I've recently learned, by the way, because so many times I would walk away from a situation going, I didn't deserve that. That's not what I would have done. Wonder why they did that. I would never act that way. Like anything like that. What are you doing? You're making it your problem. It's not your problem. And I don't mean it like, not my problem. I don't mean it like that. I mean, seriously, you're trying to make your problem my problem. I'm not going to adopt your problem. I've got enough of those. But the other thing that I've always done addiction wise, I'm here and I expect people to be where I'm at. And I make that mistake of going, oh, they're here. And they're not always beneath me. Sometimes I'm here and I'm in a bad place and I'll meet somebody who's really healed. And I'm like, F you, because I'm not up to where they're at. That's the problem, I feel like, with all of this. We're always different at certain stages of our lives. We're constantly growing, changing for the worse or for the better. How many people can close their eyes right now and go, yeah, I was in a really bad place that time. I had just lost this, or I started this, or I was doing drugs. I was not in a good place. I didn't treat people well versus where you are now. And that's the problem is people try to take your past or wherever you were and sum you up and tell you what you are and what you're not. People change and grow all the time. It's really not fair. This was a fun stream. How much longer am I supposed to go, babe? Is he still in here? Not that I want to leave, but I think do you guys, can you tell me? Maybe not. Yeah, this is not a political place. If somebody's talking about politics, not a political place. Let's see. For some reason, I thought there was a stream of Casper coming on after me, and I just didn't want to overlap. That's all. Maybe I'm wrong. I kind of want to play something that I just played on my last stream because it was really great. I want you to listen to this lady. Yeah, mods, can we cut out any politic crap? We don't do politics on anybody's stream here. Listen to this. I think this was something we played on the last stream, and it was very meaningful. It was kind of what we're talking about.
There are two things that you need to accept about other people when you start changing your life for the better. Number one, do not expect other people to join in with you in the change that you're making. See, change is deeply personal, and nobody changes until they want to change. And the more that you pressure somebody to do it, the more they're going to pull away. Number two, do not expect people to like the changes that you're making. See, when you change, it changes the dynamics in the relationship that you have. And that's really confronting to people. So be a little bit more compassionate when you start changing with the other people in your life. Do not expect them to join in or like it. And you just focus on you and the changes that you feel inspired to make.
Yes. And that's the best. If you can zoom out, yes, Patty, if you can zoom out and really understand. I said this, that was her. You can make somebody laugh. You can make somebody a cup of coffee. You cannot make somebody change. People only change when they want to. Love you, Christy Hughes. Thank you, girl. Tommy will get better, guys. The Lifeboat has the best mods, absolutely. And the chat is on fire here. I love the chat here. But it's the truth. And it really, really helps. The reason I keep harping on this is because I know for me, this may be different for you. But once I'm starting to, and I haven't fully, but I've really been focusing on accepting that. It helps me to pull away from my addiction of having to be in control of everything, having to control everything and everybody and everything in my life and balancing act. Once you realize, and it's nothing, good night, Damasio, it's nothing to get mad about. You don't need to get upset when another person doesn't do what you want them to do. It's the best they can do. That's where they're at. And you have to accept and meet people where they're at. You cannot change people. And that in itself is an addiction. It is for me. As a Scientologist, we are taught from a very young age to control everything and everybody in our environment. Kid, you are so active. Kid. Yes, Kim, it will. And I'm slowly deprogramming, guys. And with your help and guidance, you have really gotten me to see and shape into what I want to be. Kid. Hey, Mary Haynes, Tommy's going to be okay. And I want to thank you guys for that because it's a huge gift. It's a huge gift. As bad as I've talked about my addictions here with people and just validation and all of that, there's also really good things that come from it. And it's meeting people like you on this channel. You've helped me to see so much. Susie with an S, I'm so glad. But I'm also unpacking it all. And I highly, highly recommend therapy for that reason. Finding someone who is really knowledgeable and bringing a toolbox to you and saying, okay, you've been using the wrong tools. Let me show you which tools work with your problems. And that's to me what therapy is. Sherry Taylor, I'm so glad. I'm so glad this reached somebody tonight. Thank you for that. That's all therapy is to me, is getting the right tools in place for your future and how to deal with people, how to self-reflect. That's all it is. Kristen Melinda, yeah, and I know you're amazing at what you do there. Seamus is so cute, isn't he, Chow Yun Smut? But with therapy and with these channels and Tommy, it has helped me so much. And I think it's just a matter of don't be so quick to assume. Anna Banana, I'm sorry you've had a rough night, but I'm glad you were here with us. Me too, Mary Gonzalez. Don't be so quick to assume that people are being jerks. Those emails are an amazing example. When I first started my channel and I started getting those hate messages, I was like, What an a-hole. Not the case these days, guys. Not the case. It's people who are just unhealed and not where I am. We just don't see eye to eye. We're not in the same space. Thank you, guys. I will. Here, I'll just do it now. Ooh, that's hot. Okay, I'm going to have to stand up and do it. I promise I'll do it after the stream. I guess that's the message I was trying to have you walk away with tonight. If anything, if you have someone right now that you're dealing with, and maybe it's a work person, maybe it's a family member, maybe it's somebody you're not that close to, maybe it's somebody that you live with, try to see it from, I have to meet them where they're at. You're trying to get them to meet you where you're at. Don't do that. They're not doing it intentionally. Those emails people send to me and Tommy are not intentional. Most of them. I mean, some of them you can tell who are like, you're a piece of crap mother and I hope you die. Okay, yeah, that's pretty intentional. But I rarely get those. I get the ones where they pick me apart, dissect me, and tell me, you're a great girl, but I wish you would do this more. And I wish you would talk about that more. And maybe you could have a baby with Tommy. Okay, great. Now, what am I supposed to do with that? I'm not going to get mad about it. That's where they're at. It's just where they're at. And accepting people for where they're at is not a bad thing. Reese, you are a star and have helped many people, even the ones who hate. Mary Gonzalez, I hope that's true. I would love to help people who hate, even if it's me. Thank you, Mary. That's a kind thing to say. Prayers to Allison? Absolutely. For your husband tomorrow? No question. Prayers to everyone who needs them. And good thoughts. And if you don't pray, good thoughts, healing vibes. And if you're a Care Bear and you open your tummy, do it that way. Once you build your toolbox, it will be different than everyone else. And you get to choose what tools you choose in the moment. Baby steps, I love that. Thank you for your super chat, Baby steps. That's so true. Everybody's toolbox is going to be different. You know why? Everything's made up. Don't forget that, guys. It's all subjective. When somebody comes to you and says, you should do this, 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 and this, it's because that's how they were raised, or that's just their way of thinking. That's their foundation. It doesn't mean that that's the most accurate, right way for yours, right? Everything is subjective. There are no absolutes. So the next time someone says, you should be doing this, great. You're trying to make that my life. That's your life. I appreciate that so much. You can either adopt and absorb it or not, but just know that they're not trying to be jerks. It's just how they were. That's their lane. That's how they think. So you should be doing it too. It's made up. I'm sorry. That's how you were raised. That's how your dad raised you. What do you want me to do about that? It's not the same thing. I'm not going to adopt that. Tell Tommy we're thinking of him. I will, P. Taylor. I love you. Thank you for your super chat. And Katie, Much, thank you for being a member here. That is very kind, girl. Thank you. DNV's been a member here for 10 months. I love you, DNV. Thank you. Thank you, Olivia. Guys, the well wishes, the prayers for Tommy, that is really, really kind. Reese, you've met me at 60-year-old realizing I don't have to tell people to F off. Excuse me. I'm on the boat. I forgot I wasn't in my house. You've made me open my eyes. Thank you so much. I love you and Tommy. This is beautiful. And this is why we do what we do right here. Blessed beyond measures. This is why. I love that more than anything. I love it when people are passionate and they say, I've been doing this forever, or I have been in this marriage, or I got divorced, or whatever it is. I appreciate that so much. Thank you for sharing. That's the purpose of this boat. Thank you, Baby Steps. I appreciate that so much. Tony's Hooter, great show, Reese. Hope Tommy feels better. Tony's Cooter, I love you. And I hope he does too. Thank you for being a member. Barbara, Reese, you've done really well pitching in with these additional streams. I'm happy to do it. And if he needs me to do it some more, I will. And I hope that you guys will join me. I really do. On that note, I probably will hop off. Make sure that you hit subscribe because YouTube tends to unsubscribe you. Kristen Melinda, thank you. That is my channel there. It's called Relatable Reese. I stream about every day. I don't do several streams a day like Tommy, but I do about one a day. So if you would come over and hit subscribe, I would be honored. I love having people from the Lifeboat to come over, people from Sean Atwood, from anywhere, all walks. Everybody's welcome and it's a safe space. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being on my channel. Chase the Heat, Casper's channel. These are all really good people. And thank you, Rain. Thank you, Erica. And thanks, Lynn Arundel. I really appreciate you guys. Tommy really appreciates you guys. He will be back. And you guys have been super supportive to us. And I just want you to know that we talk about it all the time. Alicia, I love you, girl. Thank you, Humble and Kind. Thank you, Incarnasol. Oh, look, he's still awake. Tommy and I talk about you guys all the time and how grateful we are. No matter what everybody else says, we're not what people say we are, the haters, and there's very few anyway, but we really love you guys. And I have made so many changes in my life because of you guys for the better. And I've made so many friends, and I've gotten to hug many of you, cry with many of you. And I hope to God I can travel to do more of that, because that's what the world needs, honestly. So thank you for being on the lifeboat. And it was an honor, truly, to be here with you guys. Thank you for accepting me, for welcoming me tonight. And I'll see you on my channel. And if Tommy needs me, I will be back here. And I hope that you'll join. All right, let me figure out how to do this amazing outro that Casper made. Mary Barons, I love you, and prayers to you. We are thinking about you. All right, everybody. I'm signing off. And let me see if I can do it here. End stream and play outro. Here we go. Bye, guys. Have a good evening. Be safe.